It's an excellent question, Nancy, and I think everyone seems to be waiting with bated breath. I mean, at the same time that you have so many people in Washington pushing for further sanctions on Saudi Arabia, pushing for the potential ouster of the Crown Prince here in Saudi Arabia, folks here in Riyadh are taking a different tack. They don't seem to see any alternative to the Crown Prince, and they don't seem to understand that perhaps they should. Now, of course, the question going forward is what exactly we're going to see coming out of the White House in the next couple of days. We're expected to get a full report released on Tuesday, and already President Trump has weighed in again and again on just what should happen next. Let's listen in to what he had to say over the weekend.
Because it's a suffering tape. It's a terrible tape. I've been fully briefed on it. There's no reason for me to hear it. In fact, I said to the people, should I? They said, you really shouldn't. There's no reason. I know everything that went on the tape without having to.
And what happened?
It was very violent, very vicious, and terrible.
Did MBS lie to you, sir?
I don't know. You know, who can really know? But I can say this. He's got many people now that say he had no knowledge.
Do you just live with it because you need him?
Well, will anybody really know? All right, will anybody really know? But he did have certainly people that were reasonably close to him that were probably involved. You saw we put on very heavy sanctions, massive sanctions on a large group of people from Saudi Arabia. But at the same time, we do have an ally, and I want to stick with an ally that in many ways has been very good.
That was U.S. President Donald Trump in an interview on Sunday with Fox News, essentially saying that he doesn't have any plans to listen to this tape, that he plans to go with the report that he's been given, that there's no need to listen to that tape. And of course, this is sound, Nancy, that, as you know, has been passed around from capital to capital in the recent weeks. And I think it's really interesting to note that he brought up again and again that the U.S. has already moved on the folks that they believe were involved directly with the death of Mr. Khashoggi. And right here in Saudi Arabia, you have to remember that they are prosecuting people within that inner circle, and that they are seeking the death penalty. Now, a lot of folks that I've been speaking to on the ground here, understanding at this point of just how far the narrative has been able to get away from Saudi Arabia, saying they should really open up these court proceedings to the public, that they should invite the press in, that they should try at least again and again to become more transparent. But that, unfortunately for them, doesn't seem to be working, at least so far. And folks here on the ground saying we need to come out and we need to say more. We need to show that we are very serious about doing something over this incident.
Yes, Hadley, and you raise an important point here. I mean, when you're talking about something as serious as the death penalty, we've heard many coming out saying we need to get to the very bottom of this case with all the evidence out there before we can proceed with any such scenario. But I do think if we just take a step back here and talk about what President Trump was saying in that interview with Fox News, I mean, he said very clearly we may never know. And I think many have also said that. There's different accounts here as to what happened, even if this CIA report does come out confirmed as we understand it today. I mean, there still could be some uncertainty hanging around this incident. But this does make me wonder the implications for businesses still. I mean, we think about when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was doing his big U.S. tour, meeting with big Silicon Valley CEOs. Even if there remains a question mark over his involvement in this case, does this still cast a big shadow over future deals, future partnerships?
Well, absolutely, because at the end of the day, you know, the bloom here is off the rose, finally. We saw 2 years of so much momentum behind the Crown Prince, behind his efforts with Vision 2030, behind his trips, as you mentioned there, to London and to the United States as well, really drumming up support, going to Silicon Valley, getting involved there. So much momentum behind what he was doing. Certainly here on the ground as well in Riyadh, there was a feeling that it was time to invest in Saudi Arabia, that the government had your back, even in spite of what happened at the Ritz-Carlton, which had put a further damper on what was frankly a couple of years of recession for these Gulf Arab countries, not just Saudi Arabia at least, but obviously the broader Gulf as well, the UAE. But you have to remember that this is not just a question of economics, this is also a question of national security for the United States. And it seems, at least so far, the president isn't willing to do anything that could really damage this relationship long term. Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.